have finally found the perfect sensitivity for all controller players. And if you guys are struggling to find your perfect sensitivity, make sure you watch this video because I'll be going over every single settings in the Fortnite tab one by one to help you guys find your perfect settings. So first of all, I want to say I'm playing on the Xbox Series S right now, but these are the exact same controller settings I use for my PlayStation 5. And the first thing let's get into is the ideal loadout. This is my ideal loadout I would run in ranked or any tournaments right here. It's the sharp tooth shotgun, combat SMG. For rotation, I use the rocket ram or the crash pad juniors if I have roaming redeploy. That's a really good rotation option. And then for heals, slurp juices and minis. But if I'm in a more stacked high elo lobby where I need surge, sometimes I'll switch out my SMG for a twin mag assault rifle. This is really good for long range tags. But the combat SMG has really good accuracy as well, so it doesn't matter that much. It's more of preference. But yeah, let's get right into the settings though. The first thing you want to have is 120 FPS. If you're on console and you still play on 60 FPS, you're at a major disadvantage, especially since ranked and tournaments are now cross-play with PC players who are on 240 FPS. All you need to do to get 120 FPS mode on console is have a 120 plus hertz monitor. You can find one in the link in the description, which is the one I use. And then for the brightness, mine is at 150%. One for the user interface contrast, no colorblind mode, and then for colorblind strength I have it set at 10. And let me show you why. So if you're in a fully built brick box like this, a box fighting somebody, you can see there's really no shadows if you have your brightness all the way max. There's going to be some shadows in some areas, but as you can see, for the most part it's very clear to see and there's no shadows blocking your vision. This helps especially for us console players since we're stuck playing with shadows on in competitive, so having your brightness all the way max like that really helps a lot. And then for motion blur, this should be off. There's no reason you should have it on unless you get motion sickness, but if you play competitive you should have this turned off because as you can see, when you're building or moving really fast, there's a blur that comes across your screen and makes it harder to see your enemies and your builds. Moving on to the next page, a small tip here: if you go all the way down here to record replays and turn these three replays off, record replays, record large team replays, and record creative replays, this will help lower your input delay, especially if you're on console. And then have these three settings turned on: reset building choice on, disable pre-edit option on, and turbo building turned on. This will help lower your input delay even more. And then for auto confirm edits, I play with edit on release and reset on release, so I have it on both. This just makes it so much easier to edit and reset on controller since you're only using one single bind for it. Then moving on to the next page here for reticle, you want to have your reticle damage numbers on cumulative, and the reason for this is pretty simple: it just adds up all the numbers for you instead of doing the math yourself. Opposed to having it on list, you can see right now you really have to just add up 38, 38, 38, and it takes a lot longer, so I recommend having it on cumulative. And then for HUD scale, mine is set at 70%, which I found to be the perfect number. Fortnite recommends 100%, but as you guys can see, 100% is a little bit too much. The map covers a huge section in the top right, and if my enemy was to be right there, the map literally just kind of blocks him out and I won't be able to see him. And then for keyboard and mouse settings, if you guys don't use keyboard and mouse, just like the record replays, you want to turn all these settings off and have the numbers down at the lowest possible percentage. Then moving on to the actual controller settings here, I have controller auto run on, build immediately, builder pro. This will help lower your input delay. And then for edit hold time, you want to have it at the lowest possible number. I mean, if you have it set at a higher number, this means you have to hold your edit button for a little bit longer to edit, and that doesn't make any sense. You want to be able to edit as fast as you can. And then for slide hold time, mine set at 0.03. And then vibration is off. If you have it turned on, as you can see, bro, my controller's not vibrating. I think I have it turned off, but your controller should be vibrating when you're shooting, and this just makes it a lot harder to aim. So definitely have this turned off. And then for my look and aim sensitivity, they're both at a base number of 5. And then for build mode and edit mode sensitivity multiplier, I have it at 2.1. I found this to be the perfect sensitivity. I tried a 1 point before, like 1.7, 1.8. Those are a little bit too slow. And then I've tried 2.4-ish, 2.3-ish. Those are a little bit too fast. So 2.1 is the perfect number here. And I play with advanced options on. For look horizontal and vertical speed, mine set at 43%. This is kind of like the golden range for controller players. A lot of controller players have theirs at 40 to 45%, so you guys can play around and find what you guys think is perfect. I think 43 is kind of like the middle-ish, and it's super nice. I found that using 43 over time makes it super consistent. I'm not too fast, but I'm also not too slow, and everything's really consistent. Then for boost, I don't play with any boost on. I found out when I used to play with boost, my aim and edits were a lot faster but very inconsistent because of the boost. So I don't have turning horizontal boost on, I don't have turning vertical boost on, no boost ramp time, no instant boost when building. A lot of pro controller players don't use boost either, and I see the reason why. A lot of pro controller players are going to have their ADS sensitivity on the lower end, around 9% to 5% here, And I used to play on 11%, which I found was a little bit too fast for my liking, so 9% is the perfect speed, especially since there is scoped weapons this season. And then just like the look sensitivity, I don't play with any ADS boost at all, no horizontal boost, no vertical boost, no boost ramp time. And then for the look dampening time, mine's at 0 seconds. This completely disables it, so I wouldn't recommend using this, just have it disabled. And then for look input curve, I play on linear. I've tried exponential and linear both, and I think linear is the better option, but it is preference at the end of the day. And then for the dead zone, I'm going to play a 10% left stick dead zone and a 10% right stick dead zone. And as you can see in the hand cam, I play with a Galaxy Control Freak. This is a low-res Galaxy Control Freak I use on my Xbox and PlayStation controllers. And then for the audio settings here, you want to turn on visual sound effects. This is the single setting that every single pro player in the world uses. And then here are my binds. You don't have to copy my binds. You can definitely try them out if you want to, but I would recommend you guys use your own binds. Use what is comfortable for your fingers. These are the settings and binds I've been using since the start of the game, so my fingers are kind of adapted and made for this. And yeah, that is going to be the end of the video. If you guys did make it here, make sure you guys like and subscribe and use code Gloomzy in the item shop. Peace.